it's time for the paper review. As it is customary in this show, we begin with our sister publication this day. Well, it leads with the president inaugurating 3 gas projects, and he pledges to wean Nigeria from over-dependence on petrol as well as diesel. He says ending gas flaring top priority for his administration. Gas minister discloses domestic production hits increased 800. If I can say that, I think my glasses failed me this morning for the quantity, but you can find the details on the front page of this day this morning. Other stories in the yellow box this morning. Atiku, federal government's plan to use 20 trillion naira pension fund for infrastructure projects is misguided. Find out why he's saying this. Wean announces return of Benin artifacts to the Oba of Benin. Inflation soars to 33.69% amid higher food, energy and commodity prices. And above the masthead, CBN moves to double foreign currency remittances, grants AIP to 14 new IMTOs. Naira appreciates on official FX to 1,459 to the dollar and falls to 1,504 to the dollar on the parallel markets. Minimum wage talks deadlocked as NLC-TUC rejects 48,000 naira proposed by the federal government. I don't want to make light of this. Len Mugebe also laughing in the studio here, but we'll get to that conversation in a moment.
Yeah, we'll get to it in a moment. Let me just continue from there. On the Punch newspaper, it says 48,000 amounts to wage reduction. I mean, on the minimum wage, they're just a rider from what you have, as you can see on the headline. Tinubu to tackle power outages with 2 gas plants. Imported food prices rise as inflation hits 33.6% as from the MBS. Western democracy model not working for Nigeria. Obasanjo, the former president, insists. Rivers waves off 5 pro-Wike commissioners' resignation. The drama is still playing out. Biden world leaders condemn shooting of Slovakia Prime Minister. And MFLA implemented Naira swap without Buhari's approval. This is coming from EFCC.
Interesting. Well, let's look at the Vanguard this morning. Oh yeah, the Vanguard. Labour quit talks. Simply put, they walked out of that talks yesterday.
All right. Daily Trust. Labour also carrying on the front line. Labour rejects 48,000 minimum wage offer. Reverse crisis, 5 pro-commissioners quit Fubara's government. Let's see some other stories there. Gas supply gets 25% boost as Tinubu unveils 3 projects. Food crisis worsens as inflation hits 33.69%.
The leadership also leads with Labour talks, says living wage. Hope dims for workers as federal government offers 48,000 naira.
Guardian paints a very grim picture for households in Nigeria. Households woes worsen as inflation sets new 28-year record. This is the Guardian, sets a new 28-year record. NLC-TUC abandoned talks and FGOPS propose, that's organized private sector, proposed 48.54 minimum wage. You see there the pictorial view of how households' woes have worsened due to inflation. Nigerians facing various levels of pain. Kuka tells Tinubu, and Rivers governor stands still as 9 reappointed commissioners resign.
Well, let's go to South Africa. The Business Day says it's war as president signs the NHI.
Right, let's go to foreign papers now. Let's start with Daily Express. Britain goes pension cash in crazy. Tickled pink. Charles is back in the old routine. Interesting.
Well, the Times says Starmer sets out to woo voters with 6 pledges.
I heard that story here too. He says Starmer lays out his plan for governing Britain with Blair-era pledges, but the major headline says UK's toxic water, illegal sewage, parasite in taps, and higher bills on the way.
The Daily Mail says shadow of war grows as Europe on edge after pro-Russian Slovak Prime Minister is gunned down.
All right, the Daily Telegraph. NHS turns on doctors who blow whistle over safety. Hollywood's A-listers call for uncancelling of Spacey.
Okay, let's bring in Lemmy Weber for analysis of this stories for us this Thursday morning. Lemmy, I mean, we couldn't help but chuckle at the headlines this morning concerning Labour recurring on the front pages, as it should. We do know that the president had set up this tripartite committee to negotiate a new minimum wage, given that the existing one is outdated by the law for 5 years. And we now hear that for the first time, I mean, we've been trying to hear what is the figure you're negotiating. At the time, it was 650,000, it was 700,000. For the first time yesterday, we're told it's 48,000 naira, Lemmy.
And the OPS says 54.
Yeah.
Wow, it's the apogee of cruelty and insensitivity on the part of government negotiators. When Labour itself came out and said they were demanding 615,000 naira as minimum wage, I described it as not just ridiculous but ludicrous. I think that government's negotiation, pegging it at 48,000 naira, is even worse than any. In fact, ludicrous and ridiculous will be an understatement for that, at a time when it has become extremely difficult for Nigerians to feed. Inflation now is at 33.6%. Under this administration, from when the subsidy regime, fuel subsidy regime was removed, cost of living took about 300% increase. And you've not increased salaries, you are still making proposals. Like most Nigerians will say, 48,000 naira as minimum wage will certainly not be able to buy even a bag of rice. If you do not have a car, you are a civil servant, 48,000 naira will not be able to take you to work for a month. So it just tells you that government really is abdicating its primary responsibility, which is the welfare of the people. And we cannot say it enough. Nigerians must, as the members' office of the citizen, they must use their office to express this condemnation of this proposal. 48,000 is not a living wage. People should have living wage. As much as we do not agree, I do not think 650 is realistic. But even at 650, at 15,000 naira, if government does not make certain things work, infrastructure, public health care, primary education, then even that 615,000 naira increase will be consumed by these bills. So what I think government ought to do is to be a little more realistic and go towards 150 to 200,000 as minimum wage. Let's not continue to kid our people and say that government is broke. At the time government is preaching patience, there's no diet called patience. Government is still living in opulence. Top government officials still extravagant about their lifestyle. We have 160 million naira earmarked for SUV for lawmakers at this time. So who is bearing the brunt? Citizens, as the president said, he wants citizens to breathe. Citizens cannot breathe, even with 100,000 naira minimum wage.
And on top of that, you talk about the taxes upon taxes upon taxes.
Absolutely.
That's eating. I think the Guardian painted this picture so good. I mean, I don't know what I should use, so good.
So green.
Yeah. Households' woes worsen as inflation sets new 28-year record. Then it gives a breakdown. Rice, 152.93%. Pepper, 79.2%. Pepper. Yeah. All right. Bread, 20.5%. Beans, 106%. Yam, 141.25%. And Gari, that we grow here, 112%.
Yeah, okay. That's a good one from the Guardian. But you can see now that the rise in their prices are over 100%. Yet, government is saying from 30,000 naira minimum wage, they are proposing 48,000. That's not realistic at all. The danger in this is that you make corruption very attractive in the service. Nobody will push your file in that situation without getting some kickbacks. governments must know the implication of what they are doing. If people cannot survive, they cannot feed, they will find ways out, and it will be negative for our economy, it will be negative for governance. So it's important to look at it. People cannot breathe
Of course, you're not encouraging that people should
no,
not
certainly not. But, you know, if you push a goat to the wall, it will end up turning back and fighting back because it does not have a place of escape. Nobody will advise that, but we need to be realistic that people will need to survive. And poverty, hunger dehumanizes people totally. Your values are your values because you have food in your stomach.
Okay, a couple of stories on the front page of the Punch, apart from the headline this morning. You have the gas story, which these days leading waste, and they are looking at the angle that this will tackle power outages with the 2 gas plants out of the 3 that the president inaugurated yesterday. But there's also a story right there on the front page of the Punch from former President Olusegun Obasanjo, who says Western democracy model is not working for Nigeria. And then finally, Punch is tagging it wave of resignation in the Fubara administration in River State.
And the traditional rulers went to meet him recently.
Yes. So,
Okay.
where do you want to start?
Well, let's
the gas plants, power outages, Western democracy. Is that what we're practicing? It's not working, says Obasanjo.
Well, we are practicing Western democracy in default because what we are doing really is not democracy. We are more or less building strong men, not strong institutions. That's the reason one person can determine who will become governor of a state. That's the reason we are having the crisis, even in a place like Rivers, where there's a gale of resignation. I think that Nigerians should not even be worried about the resignation. It's only natural that people who are loyal to the former governor will naturally want to show their loyalty by stepping down. I think it's even a breather for Fubara, who must really be a gentleman to even keep people he knows that are not loyal to him in his government. So it's a good thing, and we continue to sue for peace because the people of Rivers need good governance. They do not need their governor distracted. But as we say, that is just to tell you the style of democracy we practice. It's supposed to be a game of number, yet one man claims that he made one person governor.
Let's look at Punch and then Punch Sports Extra, some stories there. It's interesting. I have never had this, really, that MFLA implemented Naira swap without Buhari's approval. I don't know whether you have had that. And of course, in Sponge Extra, Ortega, man who denied, the Premier League has not ended yet. But he said, man who denied Arsenal EPL title. And it's over. EPL clubs to vote on video ref scrap.
Should VAR go or should it stay? I vote it should go.
No, I'm not voting it should go.
But hey, the clubs have the final say.
It's not more good than half. Anyway,
Emefiele, the claim that Emefiele did the Naira swap without the approval of the president is very far-fetched. I do not agree with that because even when there was intervention at the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court ordered that we return and continue to use the old Naira notes, Buhari himself still ordered a variation of compliance. And the history of Buhari as head of state in the 80s, you saw that he was also involved in the Naira redesign. So I think that Emefiele is just a low-hanging fruit. Government and presidents, both past and present, have a gentleman agreement not to do anything directly to rubbish whoever was president. And so Emefiele is the convenient scapegoat. Emefiele could not have done that, and the president demonstrated that he was fully in support of the Naira redesign and the Naira swap when he ordered that there should be compliance to the Supreme Court judgment in breach. So I don't agree with that. Then when it comes to the issue of we are talking about VAR now, right? Video assistant referee.
Now, you know, Man U defeated the Spurs 3-2 yesterday.
Please,
and Chelsea
please don't talk about. Please don't talk about Man U. Don't talk about Man U. The essence of video assistant referee is actually to eliminate human errors, but it's really sad how badly the English referees have conducted the use of VAR. If you look at the Spanish league, you look at the Italian league, they are doing tremendously well. Yes, there will still be a bit of human error and there will still be some level of sentiment because some of the persons themselves have allegiances with clubs and these things rub off on them. So I just think that the referees need to be more professional and there must be stronger punitive measures to discourage people from acting out their emotions while interpreting what the VAR shows them.
Just improve on it. I mean, just make it better.
Indeed. Well, I wait to see how the clause will vote to stay or to go VAR, but we have to thank you, Lemi Grebe, for always being here to analyze the stories for us. We do appreciate your time and your analysis. And that's the press review, guys, for this Thursday morning. Remember, you can share your views on all the burning issues. Just follow us on X at Arise TV.